item 1, apologies. I suppose I should take Steve's reaction as being an apology for absence, unless things change and he appears. Otherwise, we're all present, I think.
No, Helen Gross is apologising, Miles. She rang me early on to say that she's only got in.
Yeah, Helen Groves apologies as well. Yeah, thank you. So, item 2, declaration of interests, pecuniary outside bodies and family, friend or close associate interest. Nope.
No.
Okay. And 3, public participation, an opportunity for members of the public to comment on any parish matter of concern. Are there any outsiders wanting to pass comment at this point? Richard,
No.
you sent something to me by email. Is that to be read out at this juncture, or is it for later on?
Now's a good time.
Right. Shall I read that?
Yeah, please.
Right, if I can find it. Just 1 second. 1 second, sorry. Okay. So Richard has had a communication from a resident. It's, for the purpose of this meeting, anonymous, and in fact, I don't know who it is either. So, but I think we take this as genuine, but it's sketchy on the detail. But I'll read it out. A resident has asked that this is read out on public participation and formally minuted. Recently, a resident had a large garden fire. In this fire was garden waste, but also other materials such as metal and plastic. This week, the resident, who has a few meadows in the area, moved the waste of this fire and dumped it on the edge of one of his meadows. This is at grid reference 446453. There are 2 very major concerns with this. Firstly, the dumping ground is at the top of a bank that leads down to the local stream running through Threapwood. Already, the material is starting to go down the slope towards the water. Secondly, the contents of the waste include metal, plastic, ceramic, and more. I found one piece, this is the anonymous person, found one piece that looks like it may be the old style asbestos roofing, though I can't confirm it is. This material will inevitably go down the slope and pollute the local stream. I have raised this as an environmental incident, but wanted to raise it for the parish council to review also. The risk to the integrity of the local watercourse is clear. Please look into this. So that has been, a request has been made that that's read out at the meeting, which obviously I've now done. Any comments?
Why are we taking it as anonymous, Miles? I mean, do you know who it is, and we're not to know, or?
I have no idea who it is, Betty.
Do we know where he's talking about? Because I don't.
I think Richard has, I think Richard does know who it is.
No, does he know the location he's talking about, asbestos and stuff falling down the...
Yeah, it's some sort of arbitrary reference. It's a grid reference.
Oh.
I mean, my personal view is it should be recorded in the minutes. It's been referred to the relevant authority, and they are the
so we don't need to do anything
placed to deal with such matters. I think we're in a position where it's very difficult for us to do anything other than record the fact that it's been raised, and quite correctly it's been put to us, and so we're aware of it. It would be useful to know exactly where it is, just so we know what we're talking about. I'm not particularly bothered who the individual is, although obviously
well, I don't care who it is, but it would be good to know where he's talking or she's talking about.
A named individual obviously has more credibility than what at the moment comes over as an unsubstantiated claim of something that from someone we don't know. So you know, that's very difficult to to comment further on that. Anyone else got any observations to add?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that it's been reported to both the Environment Agency and the Health Department at Quack, and I think we should request of the residents that they just let us know if they've had if they get a response, because we ought to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
I was just about to say, have you got a reference number for from Quack? Because I'm more than happy to just keep on top of it and then feedback to you of what's happened.
No.
I think we had the line of communication, so perhaps that's a question for Richard to answer.
No, I haven't got one.
Okay. I'll inquire anyway, because it's always good to have feedback from what's happened for you as well, so in case anyone decides that they want to ask you as a parish council what happened in the end. So if you don't mind, I'll follow that one up. Is that okay?
Absolutely fine, yeah, thank you.
I think Chris is indicating to speak.
Yes, thanks, Sam. I sent Richard a Cheshire West briefing that's on, it is about bonfires, and I would suggest we circulate that on the Facebook page and the website.
Paul, I couldn't open it.
Right, I'll resend it you, Richard.
Thank you. Yeah.
Basically, it tells people that they're not illegal, but they should consult neighbours first, and it's you can't burn the waste materials mentioned there.
Can I say, I thought that maybe putting something on Facebook would be quite a good idea, the local Threapwood page even, just so people know that we are aware of it and we're taking action, and please don't have bonfires. Do you want me to draft something for it?
Chris has done actually a good poster.
Oh, good.
So I couldn't open it last time, so Chris is going to send it again to me again.
I'll circulate it. I think it would. This is a Cheshire West blanket briefing, so I think it would be useful to put an introduction on there to say the parish council were made aware of an incident, and just would remind all residents, if they're having bonfires, please take note of this briefing.
Yeah.
Yes, because we do like a good bonfire in Threapwood.
Well, I've just got a pile I'm about to put a match to, so it'd be quite useful to see it before I do, just in case it shouldn't be there. No, I think if you could circulate that, Chris or Richard, between you, that would be very helpful. Thank you. Any more to add to that? I don't have anything else myself. As long as it, as Louise said, as long as it's minuted, and if that can be circulated on the Facebook page, I think that's a sensible suggestion. Item 4 there.
Sorry, could I ask if I've heard from my eyes can never remember.
Steve Chewett.
Luce. Sorry.
Rachel?
Luce, that's correct, yes. Have we anything to instruct on the green bins, please?
Sorry, just struggling to unmute then. I was actually waiting for feedback today on when they're going to start the green bins again. Apparently, it's going to be either tomorrow or the day after when they're going to release the time that they're going to start doing it. So I will be able to brief you all on that, which I'll send via an email. The CEO actually stated that he wanted to get it up and running at the beginning of June. So I think we're probably looking in the next week or so.
Thank you.
Don't.
Okay.
Miles?
Yeah, so item 4, minutes, to accept the minutes of the meeting of Wednesday. I hasn't got the date, but the January meeting, sorry. In the minute, my agenda doesn't have the date, but it was the January meeting, because the March meeting was cancelled. Now, I wasn't present at that meeting, but I have read the minutes. But has anyone else got any observations to make or any comments?
Yes, Miles. I don't know whether I'm looking at the right version, but there's a couple of typos in there. Item 11, highway issues, and the on my copy the road designation is B% rather than 5069.
Yes.
Yep, thank you.
And below that, the next line, we've got a full stop and a capital A, and it probably should be comma and small a.
And I think to add to that, Chris, I think the numbering started at an arbitrary amount, something like 11 or something. I think the numbering of the minutes was out, unless I only got half the minutes through. I think it was a numbering error though. But that might not be the final version I saw, to be honest. Anything about the content to further comment other than the typos?
No.
Silence, I take it as being accepted, pending those alterations, please, Richard.
Thank you.
Item 5 is planning, to note the circulated planning register and consider applications. I think that's over to you, Brian, please. You're on mute, I think, Brian.
Brian, try press. Are you on a laptop or a tablet? Because you can try pressing the space bar while you're speaking if you can't unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are.
Right, got it now. Yes, I came back on that one. I circulated round which the clerk has sent round to everybody my comments on the application. It's for a tractor storage shed at the back of Charlie Hughes's on Back Lane. It's quite a large structure, but it is an agricultural structure, and I think in its setting it's something we can't complain about. So my suggestion was we don't need to make any comment.
Brian, I'm not complaining, but I don't know how you circulated it, but obviously I'm not on the same ring road as you are, because I didn't have anything from you at all. And I realise if it's going out, you know, via the technical equipment, I'm not likely to get it. But, you know, if there's anything you think I should have, I would be obliged if you did get me a copy now and again.
Right, okay. Richard, I think, has circulated my comments to everyone.
Well, maybe
So
you think
my
so.
recommendation, if it's not past its deadline already, is that we don't need to make any comment.
No, I'm not complaining about this, Brian. I'm just saying that I haven't had any, and if there's anything you think I should have in the future, I'd be obliged if you got them to me.
All right, will do.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, my screen froze and I then dropped out completely, so I missed all of that. Brian, just very briefly, would you just repeat what planning detail there is?
Yes, it's the application for Charlie Hughes on Back Lane behind the small bungalow there. There's already a quite significant tractor shed garage, and this is to go behind it on the small field behind the property. It's a reasonably large structure for the small area of ground, but it is very much an agricultural building. Stands about 3.7, I think, meters high, and will be clad in green metal cladding. So I've assumed that, in line with our village design statement, we've assumed that there will be calls for building on the well, the agricultural land between buildings for stables and tractor blocks, and we seem to be seeing quite a few of these coming forward, but there doesn't seem to be any grounds to me to argue against any aspect of it.
No, well, that description is, to me, entirely in keeping with the principle of buildings we do permit, isn't it? So
yes,
I concur with that view. Yes, yeah. And sorry, I didn't quite catch it. Did you say the response has been made and the deadline's expired, or were that virtually at the deadline? Is that where we're at to?
Sorry, I can't quite remember the deadline, but I went back to Richard. Richard circulated my...
It's gone.
Comment. Yeah, thank you, Richard. Richard circulated my comments to everybody, and basically I summarised by saying no grounds for objection that I'm aware of, and that we didn't need to make a comment.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Brian. And that's the only planning item, I think I'm right in saying, is it?
That's correct.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So item 6 is annual meeting. Obviously, tonight should be the annual general meeting. We proposed to postpone that, which we're entitled to do for this year until next May, bearing in mind that the current lockdown has taken out a significant portion of this year, a third of probably the whole year. Generally speaking, there was even context of our village parish, a relatively inactive year last year, and very little really consequence to and in discussion with Richard, it was between myself and Richard, it was felt that it probably would be most appropriate, considering the lockdown continues, if we postpone this for 12 months. But that's for everyone to agree and approve at this point. Any comments, observations on that?
Agreed.
At least 1, 2 thumbs up. Others sort of nodding appreciably. So I think that's probably carried, is it? Yeah. Right. Good. And that flows into item 7, which is council dates, to agree the council meeting dates for the coming year 2021. I mean, I see no reason not to continue with the bi-monthly last Wednesday of each second month in parallel with the existing arrangement. Do we all agree to that?
Yep.
Another set of thumbs, thank you. We'll carry that. Item 8 is audit. This might be one that's over to Richard.
I think you've missed an item 8, is highways.
The highways are at 8,
Well,
Mike.
I haven't had that. That was an updated agenda, and I know that it was something being slotted in. I just haven't seen it, so my apologies.
Oh, sorry.
Item 8 is highways, is it? Okay, well, part of this has been superseded, but a resident asked me to mention and to see if it could be followed through the line, to say what is happening with the roadworks in the village. Traffic lights have been present for 3-4 months, whatever it is, and not even a spade. Now, of course, since then, I think the day after, the gang appeared, and on the B5069, that was cleared within 48 hours. So that's sorted. But I think, knowing where he lives, his main thrust was on the issue at the top of Sarn Bank, where I think the rumours suggest that there's been some sort of sinkhole there. I don't know the full detail. But clearly it's, there might be some significant works required. But the request was made, can we make contact with the Highways Department of the Council and ask them, you know, what, if anything, is happening, and if nothing, when is something going to happen? Because these sort of issues aren't, I'm told, locked down by the COVID situation to the extent that others are. So that was the point of that item.
Can I just ask, has it been reported through, this sinkhole at Sarn?
Oh yes, I mean the authorities have put the roadwork signs and the traffic lights. They've all been there for however long it is, 2 months, 3 months, and a cone is on top of the hole. The hole at the moment is in diameter probably ½ a metre maximum, but I believe if you lift the cone, I'm told, it uncovers a much greater cavern below. So it might be more of a problem than appears at road level. Okay,
I'd asking whether it's been reported. I actually haven't been out that way in quite a while because my shop's been shut, so I wouldn't have known it was out there.
But it's at the top of Sarn Bank, on Sarn Bank Road, on Sarn Road.
If you're happy for me to do it, I'm more than happy to touch base with John Barnes. I can send him an email tonight and just see what's happening, and stress that you're concerned about it, and see if we can get it prioritised.
That would be excellent, Rachel, if you could. Yes, thank you. Any additional observations to that section? No, okay, thank you. So now item 9 is audit. Could I refer over to Richard on that?
Right. Is there any questions? First, we start on the can you go on? You can hear what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the first item is to agree the year-end cash book for 2019-20 and the audit information, including the asset register. Do any of you have any questions on that? There is one issue to highlight on the year-end accounts, but I'll see if any of you have any questions first. No, there is. You'll notice there's a payment, I think it's actually highlighted, that was a subscription to a magazine company.
First magazine.
Have you got it?
I think it says First.
Yes.
First magazine for £6.
What we need to know, because the bank can't give the details out, but if any of the cheque signatories, so I believe that's you, Miles, and Steve, have got a magazine subscription with that company, which do a range of magazines, could you check it's not gone out of the parish council account? We do need to go back to the bank because it shouldn't have been able to come out of your account because of needing 2 signatories, but there's obviously been an error, so if you can just double check.
Yeah, well, certainly it's nothing. I've never heard of Hurst magazine, so I've got no subscriptions anyway, so that's definitely the case. But are we saying this has only appeared in the last 12 months?
Yes, and there's only one payment gone out.
It's very odd, isn't it?
But we may have found the source of it anyway, and we'll be able to recover the money. I think.
Does Miles bank with the PTA?
Do you bank with them? TSB?
No.
No, so it won't be you anyway. It's somebody who's got an account with TSB and is a cheque signatory, but the bank shouldn't have allowed it out anyway, so the matter's got to be taken up with the bank again anyway. So you all happy to agree that information?
Yep.
Yes.
So move on to the report of the internal audit. I don't think we've had the report yet, have you?
No, I haven't received that, no.
No, so if nothing comes up on the report, we'll take it as read. If not, it will come back to a future meeting. The governance statement, section 1, is a list of, I think, 7 or 8 questions. Are you happy to answer yes to all those questions?
I'm happy with that. I read through that and that all tallied. I agreed with all those points, yes.
Yeah, so if you're happy, we'll accept that. And then the section 2 is the accounting statement. Are you all happy with the figures as submitted and happy to accept those?
Counter statements, yes. Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't that one. Sorry, there was another sheet that I just wanted to raise a point. It's not that one.
Right, okay. Are we all happy with that then?
Yeah.
And then the final part of it is to agree the exemption and sign a certificate. The exemption is based on the council either receiving or spending less than £25,000 during the financial year, which obviously you have done, which means you're exempt from the full audit, but you have to comply with the Transparency Code. Are you happy that the council meets those requirements and signs a certificate?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And sorry, there was one. It's entitled Threapwood Parish Council Audit 2019-20, and there's some various costs and variances.
Yes.
There's just one that I wanted to clarify, if I may.
I'm just trying to find the document to open it, but carry on.
Under halfway down, I think it says box 6 variation, and there's a list of various items, whether they've increased or decreased.
Yes.
Office costs, I think there's either a misprint of the amount in 2019 or increased is wrong, because it's down as 2019 £516.53 and 2020 148, which is a significant decrease, although on the text it's down as an increase, so it's inconsistent. And I suspect, because the figure's such a large figure, I suspect there might be a typographical error of the 2019, but I'm not certain at all. But could we have a look at that?
Yeah, Richard can check that. It is a decrease, and the decrease will be based, I think, on the period when Richard was off sick.
Yeah.
And so that's what's
right,
resulted in the
down
decrease.
as an increase, but it is actually a decrease.
Yes, it should be a decrease. So we can correct that, thank you. Okay, shall I hand back?
Yeah, thank you. Right, sorry. On my agenda. So we've covered all of audit, haven't we? And right, we're on to item 9, accounts. To accept the cash book to date. That's with Richard, I think.
Have you got the, Anne, have you got the...
Yes. You haven't had... Yeah. There hasn't been a cash book circulated this month, but you did get information and an update on the accounts for confirmation.
Yes.
And to confirm that the precept has been received in full, £3,261. The insurance has been paid for the year, which is £283.57, and that includes £20,000 cover for the memorial. HMRC payment has been made of £367.80, not 3,000. And also for the council to confirm that you are happy to set up shires to undertake your payroll for this financial year. There's a £30 setup fee, and then they will charge £15 a quarter after that, which equals £90 for the year. There will be an additional charge if there is any pension compliance that has to be undertaken this year.
£20.
Yeah, £20.
Yeah.
So are you happy to agree all those items?
I missed the last bit, Anne. What was the increase of £20 for what?
If the council has to do any pension compliance this year, if there's any pension paperwork outstanding.
Right.
Because you have to confirm that you're not proceeding with a pension.
Right.
And fill in copious forms. So is everyone happy with that?
Yes,
I think that is everything outstanding on the accounts for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And sorry if I'm being a bit slow. Was that just cash book, or were you also covering approved payments when you said that covers everything?
There's no cash book.
The cash book hasn't been presented, so yes, that is receipts and payments just itemised, and I think it's down to something like 10B on your agenda papers.
Well, 9B on mine, yeah, 10B, yeah. Good, thank you. That's my last item.
Thank you.
So that technically is the end of the meeting at 8:06.